Hey gang, Jackalair here. It's your favorite time in mine, pickups. So over the weekend, my brother-in-law called me up and said, hey, I need to go walking. It's getting healthy. And was like, I want to go to Trader's Village, big flea market we have here. So I said, great. When he showed up, he's like, all the kids had to work, so my niece and nephew couldn't come. So we go out, we wander around, we find some stuff, we come back. We go back out the next day with niece and nephew and my two sons. We go out, we have a blast, we pick up a bunch of stuff. Now, I'm going to start this pickups video with kind of a question. And one is, have you ever bought something knowing full well that you can't play it? Now, whether that be an import game or a game that you don't have the system for, because I bought Dungeon Explorer for the TurboGrafx 16. Now, I don't have a TurboGrafx 16. I have not seen a TurboGrafx 16 in well over a decade. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find one, but the game was sitting there, so I had to get it. And just, if you've ever done something like that, where you bought something thinking, oh, this is cool, I gotta have it. It's cheap enough to where I don't even care that I can't play it. Just the collector in you kind of overrides the gamer in you, and you pick that up. We're going to start out with an example of salesmanship. So I am walking along, and I look down and I see some kind of random-ish video game stuff. And I pick up the Starfighter Ultimate Joystick. And I look at it and I go, oh, well, see, the button makes the right noise. Okay, makes the clicky noise. Okay, we're good there. It's an Atari controller. Look in there, no rust. Okay, no tarnish in there. We're good. We're good. And I think, well, I don't really need it. And I go to put it down. And the guy instantly says, oh, that's only $1. Well, now I know that if I were to order them anywhere, I'm going to pay more than $1 in shipping alone. If I go to a place like a movie trading company or a thrift store, they're going to charge me about $3 to $5 just because it's a controller. So I figure since most of the Atari controllers kind of crap out after a while, that I would go ahead and snag this one. So salesmanship. He offers a price. I'm like, oh, well that price is too good to pass up. So I grab it for $1. Let's move on to some of the Dreamcast games that I managed to pick up, because two of them are kind of eh, and one of them is ah. All right, so we'll start out with NFL Quarterback Club 2000. Now, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the sports titles that came out during this era, but this is one of the ones that's kind of okay. Now, I already had a copy, turns out, but I don't have a Dreamcast tracking app on my phone, so I was like, kind of shooting from the hip. The other one that I picked up was World Series Baseball 2K1. Now, generally I'm not good at baseball games. I don't really have the patience for them. I am very old, not very old, but I am old, so therefore the only way that I can truly appreciate a baseball game, there are two ways. One way is to be at the baseball game. The other way is to listen to the baseball game on a radio. Only two ways we ever did it. And the last game is Confidential Mission. And this one was on, just kind of hanging out. Now most of these I paid about $1 for, just to let you know. There wasn't really a lot that jumped out and grabbed me. I'm getting to the point where a lot of the stuff that I'm looking at is the same stuff that I see time after time after time. And I need to find some new stomping grounds. Okay, let's move on to PlayStation. Now, for PlayStation games, I picked up two. One is Knockout Kings 2001. I actually like the boxing games from the PlayStation era. PlayStation 2, they started to get a little weird, and the PS3 one that my friend tried to get me to play, I don't know, it was weird. It had time travel, or not time travel, but flashbacks, that kind of thing. Or my sons, rather, plural, we're looking at some toys at this guy's thing, and I noticed that he had this sitting there, so I had to pick it up. It is Agile Warrior F7. If I'm doing the math there right. Roman numerals are hard, kids. And it was just kind of sitting there, and it was complete, and the box always falls apart when I try and do this. But, and it is the plastic with a sticker on the outside. Now, for PlayStation 2, I managed to snag 2 of them, and I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure these are new. I don't remember showing them to you, but my mind is a little confused. So, I picked up Clock Tower 3, because I'm curious about the Clock Tower series, so I'm trying to get them so that when I do play them, I can play them all in a row if I ever finish the Xenosaga. And then I picked up Oni, because it's got a shiny cover, and it's made by Rockstar, who Rockstar make fun games. And that's another thing, is that, complete sidetrack, but I have noticed that Sega, for as much crap as people give them, they still publish good games. So if I see a game with Sega on the outside, I am more than likely gonna pick it up, because their hit or miss ratio, about 9 out of 10 games, are actually fun. Just saying. I did find one other thing. Once again, salesmanship, kids. Salesmanship. And I walk over and I'm messing around in a bin in there, and I see this in there, which is Big Bumpin' for the Xbox, which is one of the weird Burger King games. And I'm looking at it, and the price tag says $2.99, and I'm like, $2.99, I don't know. Then I see there's a sticker on there that says $2, and I'm like, I don't know. And then the guy in charge of the booth walks over and goes, yeah, everything in that bin is $1. Well, okay. So, hooray! $1. Works for me. But the last thing that I picked up that I want to show you, once again, salesmanship. Walked by, saw 2 things. One was, it looked like, and I'm probably going to tell this to you all, and you're going to let me know that it's super rare and it's worth $1 million. But it would look like a ColecoVision that actually played Atari games. Like, it didn't look like a proper ColecoVision. It looked like a really tiny... I didn't have anything to take video or photos of it. I should have. But right next to it was something where I was like, ooh, maybe. And I'm looking at it and I go, ooh, I don't know. And the guy says, well, you know, it comes with all of this stuff. And I'm like, does it have the power cable? Because, as we all know, older machines, power cables, really important. See some of my consoles that have sat around for months while I hunt down a cord. And he says, oh, yeah, I got it right here. I'm like, okay, score. He's like, oh, I also got the video hookup. I'm like, all right, we're still in business. And then I'm debating, and I said, well, I'll come back. And he knocks some money off the price. I'm like, oh. Well, I don't know if I want to carry it around. He's like, okay, you know what? I'll drop it down. Took 1/3 off the price. Threw in some extra stuff, and I was like, well, I gotta buy it. So I did. And here it is. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Atari 7800 Pro system. Now, this little beauty is the second to last Atari console, because I'm only counting the consoles, I'm not counting the handheld because I've had a Lynx and I didn't really... But this is the second to the last Atari console that I need to finish that collection. Now, I'm not going for all the variants. I really don't I just want to be able to play the games. So I've got the 2600, I've got the 5200, and now I've got the 7800. I just need the Jaguar to go, and then the Jaguar CD if I get really crazy, and then I'm done. But the cool thing is that I don't know if you noticed it, but let's go ahead and... that is still covered in that weird laminate stuff that protects the chrome. So when I peel that off, that will be all shiny and new. Now I probably won't do that until I have room in the house, because I'd rather keep any amount of dust that I can keep off it. But that is the 7200. But wait, there's more. The most important thing, the thing that sold me, the thing that I would have walked away for, if he would have, instead of cutting a third off the price, if he would have knocked it down to a third of the price, if he would have said that he was going to give it to me for $5, maybe I would have entertained it. But the power cable, look at that. What the hell is that? What were you thinking? But got it. Power cable. RF adapter. Always good to have. Not one, but two controllers. Not one, but two original Atari controllers. Even though one looks kind of beat up a little bit, but the outer housing really doesn't matter in these. And on top of all of that, he threw in some paddles, so that now I can play Kaboom and whatever else takes these paddles. Pong, I can play properly now. $40 seemed a fair price for all that. Oh, and there was also a copy of Milton Bradley's Spitfire Attack for the Atari 2600. Up until now, I had a couple 7800 games that were kind of thrown in with the 2600 games that I didn't have the ability to play. Now I will. That's it for pickups. Remember, if you've ever bought something knowing you can't play it, please let me know. Let me feel not as stupid as I normally do, or as foolish. And put a comment down below. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, play on!